Today we're concluding our three-part mini-series with Coach Payne on the topic of the one more mentality. Coach Payne shares the tools, strategies, and perspective that allow high performers, first responders, and anyone ready to level up in the new year. If you haven't listened to part 1 and 2, go back and take a listen. We hope this three-part series has transformed your mind and provided tangible ways you can make this year your best one yet. Let's get started. Coach Payne, welcome back. Episode 3 of our mini-series. This has been so much fun. So the first week, we talked about the comfort crisis. Episode 2, or week 2, we talked about the inner war, the battle between our ears. And this week, we want to talk about the one more mentality. And anybody that's listened to Coach Payne on YouTube, if they followed you on Instagram, they know that this is how you live your life. This is what you're always trying to push people for. Yes, but let me start by asking you a question. Something you say often, you say functional fitness.
Yep.
You're big on functional fitness.
Absolutely.
What does that mean?
Well, truth is we're all functional beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're functional. I believe that throughout life, even if you never work out a day in your life, you're functional, right? You're always moving. You're always doing what you should be moving. There's always something going on. Our bodies are meant to move, not be isolated, not be isometric all the time, because our bodies are all constantly changing throughout life, from a baby up into adulthood and beyond. And I believe that sometimes we tend to forget how important it is to be functional. There's functional fitness, obviously, and there's other ways of being strong and things like that. But functional strength training, in my honest opinion, is by far the most productive way for longevity, for lifestyle, and so on. I mean, I'm over 50, to be anything over 50 and still be able to do the things that I can do, I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. You do some crazy stuff too, because again, I follow your Instagram page, and some of the, and the functional fitness that you're talking about, I'm gonna tell people how. Well, let's do it right now.
Yeah.
How do people find you?
Coach Payne Academy.
Coach Payne Academy.
Yeah, Coach Payne Academy. We're on Instagram. You can definitely find us there. Our address is 2486 South Record Road, Gilbert, Arizona, Suite 104.
Yep.
That's where we do all of our functional training.
And the reason I want people to go find you, like go check out his Instagram page and his YouTube page, but especially on his Instagram page. Yep. If you're still confused on what we mean by functional fitness, just go watch him a couple of days, and you're going to see you probably haven't done some of the workouts that Coach Payne has people do.
It's not necessarily a fitness one-on-one experience. Let me just say that. Yeah. And there are a lot of people that may question the methods I have, and that's okay. There's a lot of fitness gurus out there. Everybody has an answer for everything, But again, I believe, and I'm quoting Bruce Lee, who is by far a legend.
Yeah.
Be shapeless and formless like water. Pour water into a cup, become the cup. Pour water into a tea kettle, become the tea kettle. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Yeah.
We are shapeless and formless beings. We don't have to be isolated to this one way of thinking that we shouldn't have the ability to move. So I enjoy being unconventional. I enjoy being functional because, again, not condemning the way fitness is today, but let's talk about military, firefighters, first responders. They have to be functional. They have no choice because of the days that they do day in and day out requires functionality.
So to give you an example what that means, because I have, most of our audience knows this, but I have a son who's just got out of the Marine Corps by the time this drops. But he's sent me videos of when they're training for combat shooting.
That's right.
And for most of us, if we went to a shooting range, we go to a shooting range, we take the weapon, we're standing behind something, we got a little target out there that's standing
and it's
still.
not shooting back.
And it's not shooting back. But I've watched when he's done some of his, sent me videos, his combat training, they'll make him drop down and do like 20 push-ups, stand up and do a sprint.
And you know why?
Because their heart rate's going in and out, and they got to try to get that on target. But that's more functional. That's real
functional
life.
Because it's... You just said it right there. Real life.
Yeah.
This isn't real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't me betting on the bench. This isn't real life. That's just
Yeah.
ego in most cases. I'm not condemning it.
Yeah.
Lord knows I'm not.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I do or need to do on a day-to-day basis.
Yep.
There are people that can't even scratch their backs.
Yep.
They can't touch their toes,
Mm-hmm.
right? They don't have the ability to have mobility and flexibility to do things with their body that may require them to be that way.
And I think this is such a great conversation because, again, for our audience, like most of them aren't first responders. We have
You
some
don't
that
have
are.
to be.
You don't have to be. But
No.
like you're saying, it goes back to somewhat a quality of life. You and I are at the age now where we're not going to be competing with the 20 or 30-year-olds anymore, but I want a good quality of life. I want to still be able to run around and chase my grandkids without blowing out my Achilles like I did last year.
Well, here's the thing. You get young people. I've had young people challenge me numerous of times. I've had, again, from the bench press to this and that. And I always say, listen, I've been your age. You got to get mines.
Say that again?
I've been your age. You have to get mines.
You have to get mine.
You have to get my age.
Oh, get my age.
Yeah, you have to get my age.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a way of slang of saying it. But yeah, I always say that I've been there, done that. I lived your life, right?
You haven't lived mine though.
You haven't lived mine yet. Wore that crown.
I like that. I'm stealing that, man. I'm stealing that.
You wore that. I wore that crown. Yeah. I don't need to. Look, I'm 227 pounds, right? Over 50. Pretty good shape. I'm grateful for that. I don't need to go back down memory lane to prove how strong I am. That doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's all about, again, reserving and preserving the body. There are a lot of people that get hurt doing egotistical things and they can't do anything anymore because they felt like 30 people, you have to show off in front of 30 people to prove that you superior to this person. Listen, if you weigh 300 pounds and I'm 200 pounds, you should be able to do certain things a lot more from a strength component because you have the body mass component or whatever to do that. Don't get me wrong. There are some not so massive guys that are extremely strong, and a lot of it just comes from good genetics, good work habits, whatever. But it's so much more than just how much you bench, how far you can run. Functional fitness overall is the truth. And a lot of the things, like you say, you see me do and have done, I enjoy it. I'll enjoy teaching people that, your core, your legs, and your back and your grip are by far the most essential part of the body that you should always be tapped into. Strong grip, strong back, strong abs, strong legs. Cardio, of course, is necessary as well. And so many people rather focus on one body part and forget the rest. I want to have big this, I want this, I want that. No, you need a universal body.
Core and back.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of our injuries, especially as people start getting older,
Absolutely.
because they start letting that go.
That part right there. That's what I'm saying. Like your back is a very important part of your body.
Yeah.
If your back goes out, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Your legs are important. Your core is the center of gravity. You know what I mean? People out there don't have strong core. They'll do neck ups. I call them neck ups.
Yes, I know what you mean.
That's not. I don't even know why they do that. But anyway, your core is
not a sit up. It's a neck up. That's what you're saying.
That is not a. I don't know what that is. But anyway, that's another story. I think that people need to really tap into themselves, learning how to utilize and master their bodies. That to me is a very important key component to mastering who you are as an individual. Master your body. Like you see people doing some crazy stuff on YouTube and things like that. I don't have to do that. I don't need to do a human flag.
Yeah.
That guy's incredibly strong, but that doesn't mean I have to do it, but I can still be able to do what I need to do to make myself more efficient in my life.
I like how you were talking about like mastering your body because we talked episode 2 last week it dropped.
Yeah.
And we talked about mastering the mind,
the
thinking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about functional fitness and mastering the body.
Yeah.
How does that fit into training for life? So when we talk about functional fitness, how does that fit into training for life? And let me just preface it by saying this too. How does this mentality transfer to parenting or marriage or our work world or business world?
Hey, we hope you've enjoyed this episode so far. Be sure to like and subscribe to not miss a future podcast. Okay, let's get back to the episode.
I mean, to be honest with you, again, now we're talking about a mental, yet physical too. everything that moves has functionality. Marriage has function, work has function, you have function. It has to function to work. Sometimes it can be disrupted. Sometimes it can work for the common good. It goes all the way around to balance, like balanced nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have balance in a marriage. You have to have balance in the workplace. You have to have balance in your fitness. You have to have balance within you. Everything, nothing can go this high and everything else gets left behind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a function for it to work. For the engine to work, it has to have functionality in it. The engine, you start the engine up, something had to spark that engine to run, right? There are things in there that has to fire up for it to run, for it to do its job. For the vehicle to move, you have to be functionally sound to move it. Car just gonna sit there.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you do that requires action requires function.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So everything, life, marriage, work, children, anything, it has to have functionality to it.
Yeah.
Fitness is a part of that. I think it's important that we, for longevity purposes, that we should be very in tune with our health. Listen, to everybody out there, I wish people will understand, you don't have to be obsessed with the gym to be actively sound with your health.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Your body is a very important tool. Your health is very important. I never said you have to be a marathon runner. I never said you have to be Mr. Olympic or Mrs. Olympic. I never said any of those things. And stop buying into this nonsense to think you have to look like somebody to be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest mistake people make these days. They look at somebody and like, oh, I want to look like him.
Yeah.
I want to look like her. No, be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, be the best of
good.
you within yourself.
That's
be,
good.
yeah. Why? I can't listen.
Yeah.
I can go on and on. I sound like it's not frustrating. It's just it's weird how people are so obsessed with what other people look like. And they feel they got to be like them to be somebody. You are a beautiful person. You are a beautiful human being. You were created for a reason. Build on what you have and make the most of it. Okay, you want to lose 30 pounds, lose it.
Yeah.
You want to gain muscle, build it.
But you're going back to part of
everything.
The reason, though.
It's a reason.
Like think through on the reason what that is. Because if it's, I want to look like them, you're probably going down a dangerous road instead of I want to be the best that I can be.
Our view,
of who I was made to be.
Listen, man, look, if we were all meant to be the same, we would be right now the same.
Yeah.
If we're not meant to all look alike, be alike, think alike, move alike. We're not meant for that. That's what makes the world so unique and beautiful. It's what we do and how we perceive it and how we go about it. That's the functionality of things.
You know, Coach Payne, you know how much better this world would be if someone actually believed and lived what you just said? Not somebody, but I mean most people.
Understand.
Which I actually think a lot of people do. But what you just described, I think is so true. Most of the fighting in our world throughout human history has been based on differences.
Yep.
Different colors, different ethnicity, all these things. When in actuality, like you just said, this one of the things that makes the world so beautiful. Like God created it. Like you and I aren't the same.
It's our
and that's
fault.
what makes it beautiful.
It's our fault.
Yeah.
It's our fault.
It is.
We are our own enemy. Like we talked about enemy.
Yeah.
It's our fault.
Yeah.
All of this, everything you see, all of the doubt, the fears, the division, whatever you want to call it. Listen, people, world, anyone that's paying attention to this, what I'm saying, we don't have much time to waste time on our lives, whether it's health, whether it's a disagreement, whether it's somebody you don't like, whatever the case may be, just be grateful, man, that you are walking this earth.
And I cannot emphasize.
Get on your business, man. I'm telling you, because somebody didn't make it 2 seconds ago.
And I can't emphasize enough what you're saying.
It's crazy how the world is. It's how people think.
Time's the one commodity that we can't replace, right?
You can't. It's the
you
most
can lose
valuable
money and get
asset.
more money back. You could lose a friend and get another friend, but you cannot replace time.
You cannot replace your life.
Yep.
You can replace $1.
Yep.
Lost some money, get it back.
Yep.
Believe me, it's hard. You know, you're like, man, I can't believe I've been there. I know what it feels like. But at the end of the day, man, listen, if you can't start over, you can't plan tomorrow because it hasn't happened. You can't expect it to be there. But man, I got right now.
I got now. I got today.
Again, it's hard. It's some people are just not built to be better.
Yeah.
You know, that's a fact. There are a lot of people out here that are not built to be better. They don't want to be better. They don't want to do better. They want to be the person they are. Like you said earlier, you know, that's just who I am. Being who you are don't make you right. Well, I don't care what the world thinks about me. Well, the world is bigger than you.
Yeah.
And you got to live in it. You're just one little bitty person.
Yeah.
And you're not functionally sound to do the things that you need to do to adapt to what we are all going through. We are all fighting battles. We are all in this together. Whether you like it or not, we're all in it together.
Yep.
But for the functional aspect of it, from a physical perspective, I want to be able to stand and be the best I can be, not only for myself, for my family, for my fellow brother and sister in battle. I have to be more than an excuse.
And to do that, that
have
goes
to
back
be.
to this one more thing, right? Like if you're doing just enough,
Yeah,
you're never going to be your best.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's the scary part, is that we always, you know, feel that we have to be always on top. And sometimes you just ain't gonna always be on top.
Mhm.
And when you get to the top, then what? You know, okay, now what do I do? It's like I said, people that are very successful, they're bored too.
Mhm.
Pay attention to society. Look at what's happening. You see a lot of celebrities, famous people, nothing against some of the people, but they're so successful, they're bored.
Yeah.
They have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to just do this because I'm bored. I go back to our conversations in the past about that struggle mentality. When you are in a position to work to get those gains, whether it's fitness, business, family, whatever, there's work that has to be applied. And when you're in that environment of comfort and not pushing yourself to be uncomfortable and being able to say, this is a situation I've never seen in my life. What do I do? How do I adapt? I'm afraid. I'm scared. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be vulnerable at times, but you can't get to a point where you think every day is just going to be the best days of your life. It's still a day. You just got to learn how to figure out and adapt. Man, it's tough out here.
Yeah.
Life is really
Yeah.
tough for a lot of people, but functionality, fitness, your health, it's all a part of it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's all a part of it.
So what's the difference? And I know you're going to love this question. What's the difference between motivation and discipline? Now, some of our audience is listening and they're not watching. So they don't know. You're wearing a shirt. I'm going to describe it for all those listeners that has discipline, a line, and then motivation over it. So it means discipline over motivation,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
I did not know you were going to wear that shirt today. I had already planned to ask this question.
It's all good.
So this is perfect. What
Yeah,
difference between motivation and discipline?
Well, discipline is an ongoing process. Even when you don't want to do it, you're going to do it. Right? That's it. You know,
Even
it's like
when you don't want to do it,
you're going to do it. You know, you don't want to do it, but you're disciplined enough to get it done. I have discipline to get to work. I have not because I got to pay my bills, yes and no, but at the end of the day, I have to have the discipline enough to know that I have a job to do. The thing about motivation, like me, people say you're a motivational speaker. I mean, that's just a title that most speakers like myself get, but motivation runs out.
Yes, it does.
It runs out. It
Yes,
does.
it does.
You get to a point, I'm not motivated. How many times we've said that? I'm just not motivated.
And that's true physically,
I'm
spiritually,
not motivated.
emotionally.
I'm not
Yep,
motivated.
yep,
I'm not
yep.
motivated. I don't want to do this. I'm not motivated. The point of that, and the reason why we should get away from that word in most cases is because we depend on it.
We depend on motivation
We depend on motivation
instead of discipline.
instead of discipline. Because discipline hurts.
Yeah.
Discipline
Yeah.
hurts, man.
Yeah.
It does. Think about it. Discipline. Listen to that word. It's a powerful word. It's discipline. I
It
got
even sounds like it hurts.
Listen to it. That discipline. That means I can't quit. I gotta get up.
Yeah.
I gotta keep going. I don't want to, but I better do it or discipline will find me.
Yeah.
I gotta do it. And you want discipline to find you because it puts you in a position to say, I know what must be done. Therefore, it will be done. I don't have to remind myself that I hate it. I don't have to remind, that's a powerful word, of course, strong word. I don't want to use that in the wrong way. I don't want to remind myself that I don't want to do it. I don't want to remind myself I can't stand it. I just know it has to be done. And that's it. Because it's going to end sooner or later.
You saw me, it probably looked to you like I spaced out there for a second, but I didn't. I was just thinking so deeply about those words you said. It has to get done, therefore I'm going to
get it done.
It
has to get done.
That's a great definition of discipline. That's what discipline is.
Discipline.
Right?
It's everything, though. It's everything. It's not just fitness. It's not just work. It's not just family. It's me. It's all about me.
But that's the difference between a child, childish behavior, and an adult, right? Because a child doesn't have the discipline yet.
No.
So when dad says, I need you to do this, or mom says, I need you to do this, they got to ride that kid then and be like, hey, I told you to get this done. I told you to get this done.
Discipline is embodied.
I don't need that anymore as an adult. I'm saying as a healthy adult.
No, I understand.
Because now I'm disciplined. I know this has to, I'm going to use your definition. This has to get done. Therefore, I'm going to get it done.
That's right.
But motivation is what so many of our listeners, myself included at times,
we've been there.
We try to live on motivation. And that's what, as we get ready for 2026, right?
Runs out of gas,
New Year's resolutions.
New me, new you, new me.
And that's motivation.
You're going to see it on social media. You're going to see the videos. Join now. New me, new you. What about you? Whatever. I just, look, do it different. Just say, look, I am not here for a resolution. I'm going to be the solution to my resolution.
Yes,
that's it.
Love that.
Be the solution to your resolution. Don't keep going down memory lane every year. New me, new you. No, I'm a solution. I'm just going to be a solution. I'm going to be solution. What's your name? Solution. How do you go by that? Discipline.
Yeah.
I'm a solution to my resolution. Every time someone says it to me, I just say, stop being this and just be a solution to your resolution.
And that's what discipline is.
That's all discipline is. Solution.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, a manager or a supervisor or someone that's over a company, what is their job? To bring a solution to the problem, not create a problem. As a leader, your job is to bring solutions. Be a leader of your own life. Be a solution to your life. Stop making excuses. Stop calling on weakness to save you. Excuses to save you. Stop looking for it, because that's the biggest problem in our society. We always find the great escape.
Yeah.
And look for someone to bail us out.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, you know what? I got to do better.
Yeah.
So I can get better.
So how would you recommend to our audience, as we're into 2026, we're 3 weeks in at least now as we're listening to this podcast, how does someone practically move away from motivation to discipline? Like there's some of our audiences going, yeah, Coach Payne, I recognize that I've been trying to live my life on motivation and I just bounce from one, YouTube clip to another.
Yeah.
I get all excited, but then 3 days later, I'm not working out. I'm not eating healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not treating my wife right.
Yeah.
I'm not treating my...
As we're wrapping up this episode, be sure to leave us a 5-star review. And if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment on something you'll take away. All right, let's hop back into the remainder of the episode.
How does someone move from motivation to discipline?
Well, I think our society itself, we're so absorbed. And again, I'm bringing up things that I think that gets us in trouble, is that what we embodied and what we welcome into our household, into our minds, into our spirits. Because let's be honest, there's more negativity in the world than it is positive.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just in our country, it's everywhere.
Yep.
It's society, it's humans.
Yeah.
I think for the motivational part, I think motivation has its place.
Yeah.
You should be motivated.
Yeah.
I'm motivated. I'm motivated to be sitting here with you today.
Yeah.
I'm motivated. It has nothing to do with discipline, but I'm inspired to be here, to sit with you, to talk to your audience, to get people to connect.
So it's a good word. So motivation, inspiration is not a bad thing.
No,
it's got its
motivation
place.
has its place.
Good.
You just got to remember that it does run out.
Yeah.
Discipline doesn't have, love can run out.
Yeah.
Passion doesn't. When you're passionate about something, you can't touch it. I'm passionate about what I do. You can't touch it.
Yeah.
Only one can touch it is the man upstairs.
Yeah.
Man can't touch it. It's mine. It belongs to me.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about it. When you love something, it has a different way of looking. When you say, I love you, you can also fall out of love with that, right? It's so many variations to things. And I think the mistake that we make is that there's so many interpretations to how people live their lives. Like, there's no one answer to the truth. The truth is just what it does. You believe, I believe. My truth may not be your truth, but it's what it is. We all have our own way of how we look at things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from a motivation perspective, there has to be some form of idea. For example, I always tell people, if you really want to know how to motivate yourself to get in shape and to be healthy, go to the graveyard. Go ahead. Visit the graveyard, walk through the graveyard, drive through the graveyard. There's some people in there sleeping in those graves that didn't have to be there. They put themselves in that hole and they can't come back. Most people want to be sick because they choose to be sick. Not everybody has the luxury to be healthy because some things they just can't fix.
Yep.
But there are a lot of people out there that are very selfish and they choose not to do right and they hurt themselves. And now your loved one has to take care of you because you didn't have the ability to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So that's motivation to me. Go to the ER.
Yeah.
Go to the hospital. Go in the ER. Look at those people laying up in the hospital. They don't have to be there. Some people have no choice.
Yeah.
It sounds really harsh to say it, but it's the truth. We have so much control in certain things that we can control if we choose to control it.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's a guilt trip. Not saying I'm pointing the fingers at people. I'm just saying we got to get out of this mindset. So if you need motivation, that's one way of getting it.
Yeah.
That's one way of getting it.
Because to your point, motivation isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just runs out.
That's my motivation
So
right there.
go motivate yourself, drive through the graveyard.
Just go,
and realize,
just see things.
Yeah.
Look around you. People, there are so many things that people can that we have power over. Like I said, I think we're living in a time that everybody wants, not everybody, there's people that just want to pass.
Yeah.
Just give me a break. Like you said, try earlier, right? Try. Stop trying and just do it, man. Stop trying.
Yeah.
Why everything gotta have try in it? Every sentence. I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
Which becomes an excuse.
It's just you setting yourself up to give up. If you try something, you're setting yourself up to give up. You do know that.
Yeah.
So don't try. You know what? I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
And if I suck at it, so what?
Yep.
If I'm not the best at it, big deal. But you know what? Nothing beats effort.
Yeah.
Effort is powerful.
In some ways, the difference between motivation and, like you're saying, they're both okay.
Yes.
Motivation and discipline.
Yes.
But what we may say, and what I'm hearing you say in some ways, is that motivation, a lot of it is how I feel.
That's right.
Discipline is I'm going to do it even when I don't feel
You're
like
a beast.
That's the difference.
Can't
between
nobody
it.
stop you.
So the problem for audience, for me, is we're moving into 2026. If I'm going to base my life on how I feel this year, I'm going to need motivation. The problem is it's going to run out.
Yeah, that's right.
What I really need is discipline.
That's
because
right.
discipline is what's going to tell me to do this even when I don't feel like it. The one more rep challenge.
You said something a couple of times. You just mentioned the word feelings.
Yeah.
Get your feelings out of it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Stop feeling.
And that's the problem. Motivation is all about feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
Bruce, going back to my buddy Bruce.
Yeah.
Don't think, feel.
Yeah.
That's what he said in one of my favorite movies, Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
But he says this to his student. Don't think, feel.
Yeah.
It is like a finger pointing to the moon.
Yeah.
And the kid looks at the finger and he slaps him upside the head. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all of that heavenly glory.
Wow.
It's a powerful, powerful message. And I'm like thinking like, wow, that's deep. We should look at things bigger than just one thing. We're so one-dimensional. We just see this. What about everything else around you? You just looking at one thing. It's like looking at your phone. This is all I see is my phone. But there's a big universe out there. Pay attention. Pay attention. So yeah, motivation definitely has its place. And again, I'm not saying that to be disheartening about the graveyard and about the ER and things like that, but there are things that we can do that can inspire us, not just from that perspective. Maybe your dad, maybe your mom, maybe someone you love motivated you to get up and do something. But what happens when it runs out? Discipline doesn't run out.
That's where discipline comes in.
It doesn't run out.
Yeah. Well, we're finishing each of these episodes with the challenge. The first week we did the challenge of doing something that makes you uncomfortable, whatever that might be. The second week, the challenge was writing down 3 to 5 word epitaph and then living in such a way that would come true. The challenge for this is what we're calling the one more rep challenge. So whatever you're going to do this week, whether that be a workout or a chore or a journaling, just add one more. So for example, if in your workout you can do 20 push-ups, do 21. If you were going to journal for 5 minutes, journal for 6 minutes. Whatever that might be, but do that one more rep challenge. And that's what leads to discipline, not motivation, but discipline.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So challenge you that. Coach Payne, thank you so much. This has been a blast, these 3 weeks that we've gotten to visit. Thanks for motivating us, but most important,
motivation,
disciplining.
Absolutely.
Disciplining us. So we really appreciate that. Appreciate your time with us. And 2026 has the potential for all of us as an audience of being the best year of your life.
Yeah, man, because
depending on the
2025
choices you make. 2025's done.
Yeah.
It's in the past.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're going to get 2027,
Yeah.
but what we got is today. We got this year. So let's do the best we can with it. Yeah.
Amen.
All right. Thanks, my friend.
Appreciate you, brother.
That wraps up the final episode of our 3-part mini-series with Coach Payne. We've covered the comfort crisis, the inner war, and now the one more mentality. If you love this series, make sure to leave a 5-star review, share it with someone who needs to hear, and be sure to stay tuned for more powerful conversations and amazing guests coming in 2026. Thanks for joining us on No Gray Areas. We'll see you next time.